right, guys, it's another lovely Monday evening, and it's my pleasure to have you join me on yet another beautiful episode of the Guys Hangout Show on independent television, reaching you live from that city of bronze. You know, I love to call it that city where the king is truly king. Now, for starters, the Guys Hangout Show is one show that, teaches men to prioritize themselves and, of course, to be the best that they can be, just so that they can give the best that they can give. It airs on this station every Monday. All right, my name is Harry Aigboje, and of course, it's my pleasure to have you join us on this episode of the show. Now, today, we're going to be taking a look at a very, very important topic, something that actually caught my attention of recent. Okay, sometimes you're just going about your daily activities, and then you just, for a second, certain things just cross your mind, and you begin to ask yourself, what has actually changed? What has gone wrong? How come things are no longer the way they used to be? And one of such things is the growing lack of parental discipline in our society as we have it today. What exactly went wrong? Whether you like it or not, you must have noticed that things are no longer the way they used to be, especially between parents and their kids. Those days when we were growing up, some of us had this reverence for our parents, right? Even in their absence. There were things we're not bold enough to do, we're not courageous enough to do, even in their absence, because of the kind of discipline that they gave us, right? So, for instance, I remember as a kid, I used to live within my boundaries as a child, right? I was not allowed to go to the next compound. Now, that was how I was raised. Not because my parents didn't like us being free, but they just wanted to ensure that we lived within the boundaries that they set for us. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there can also relate. Now, if you take a look at the parents of today, it doesn't seem to be like that anymore, right? A lot of parents seem to be more flexible in raising their children. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? My name is Harry Aigboje once again, and it's my pleasure to have you join us on this episode of the show. Now, like you already know, I'm not alone. I've got an amazing person in the house with me, and together we're going to be taking a look at this topic. Now, he is an educationist and also, a social analyst. He's really passionate about lots of things that are happening around us, and he loves to share his wealth of wisdom and experience on such matters. It's good to have you, Abu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harry. And as usual, it is good to be on the show today again. It is always a pleasure talking about issues that concerns us in society, especially issues like this, where if we keep quiet, things will get deteriorated and it will get out of hand.
True.
So, bad things try because good men decide to keep quiet.
Absolutely.
So we must say something.
Definitely, we must say something, and that's basically why we're here. I mean, we really can't help not to say something, all right? Now, we're going to be taking a look at this issue as we begin to look at it one after the other, right?
Okay.
Let's look at it from this angle. Parenting is serious business, right? And I don't think a lot of parents realize that, a lot of parents of this generation, because there seems to be this trend of people just giving birth without recourse to the responsibility of taking care of those children. So let's start from there. Why would anybody want to, start having kids without, considering what it will take and what it will cost, to take care of those children?
Yeah, procreation is one biological gift that God and nature has given to humans. Okay. So any adult who has gotten to a certain stage can procreate, except he or she has a medical condition. Okay. But procreation is not a yardstick to be called a parent. So we have so many fathers and mothers who are not parents. Being a parent means you are ready for the job after birth. Birthing a child is your God-given talent or God-given gift.
The natural ability.
But that natural ability. But the idea of training this child, parenting, is a full-time job. I say full-time job because it's one thing that people just overlook, and because of that they think because they are fathers they could be called parents. No. We have so many fathers but few parents. So it's because of these few parents that we have in society that you see there is a growing lack of discipline in terms of parenting and all that. So I think the few parents that we have, if you see their children outside, you can distinguish them from those that have fathers and just mothers. So I think we should be seeing this thing from the idea of who are parents, to be precise.
Okay.
A parent is that person who is a father or a mother and has indulged his or herself into the act of bringing up this child. You know, children, the mind of a child is like a tabula rasa. Whatever you imprint on that mind is what goes a long way to determine what the child will become in life or how the child will behave and all that. But we really have people imprinting these things on the mind of the child. That is the question.
I think that's $1 million question, because this is one question I believe a lot of parents do not ask themselves before they begin to procreate. Like you've rightly established, there's a clear difference between procreation
there is.
and parenting. And I think that's what we need to begin to establish. What exactly is it with parents of nowadays? You know, just like I said in opening, you know, when we were growing up, it was a different ball game, right?
Yeah.
We were raised with a very high level of discipline. So much so that parents of this generation will probably see that as you being too hard on your child.
Okay.
Now, what's the place of discipline in parenting? Let's begin.
There are different factors that I think I will tie to this lack of parental discipline. Number one, the infiltration of Western culture into our traditional belief and norms. Secondly, we also have this idea of laziness on the part of some people who call themselves, I use the word who call themselves parents, laziness on their part. And thirdly, there is this idea of the growing new normal, where people advocate that children should be treated with, like adults, they should be treated with kids and gloves and all that, so that you not hurt them. And so after all, they are human beings. So, but let me start with this infiltration of Western culture into our traditional culture. Now, you see, the white men asked us at the time to marry a fellow man, a woman marry a fellow woman. Many of us did not dispute it. Some African countries are already doing that. They also asked us to wear the suit, the sleeve, the waistcoat, the tie, and all that, despite our hot weather. Many of us did not also dispute that fact. And we are doing it. But very recently, they are also asking us to treat a child as an adult. And so many parents have started, many fathers and mothers have started treating their children as adults. That's the problem. They want to train them in the Western way. They want their children to see themselves as adults. They are rushing them through that childhood. They don't want them to enjoy that childhood. They don't want them to see themselves as children. That state of innocence is no longer there. A child that just here, you call that child that you want to reason with the child like an adult. What's his reasoning capacity in the first place? My brother, what is the rationale behind you sitting a child down to say, let's discuss? You are just 4 now. And who told you that a 4 years old is thinking like an adult already? It's not. I know many will say this is a computer age and jet. Leave that computer age and jet. Children are children. And most of how were we brought up? We were told that if you misbehave, I will flog you. I have so many parents in my area. My father was not just my father. Yes, he was my biological father, but I have so many fathers. Before my father even come back from his workplace, someone else have disciplined you if you misbehave and all that. Do we still have such in our society? No. You see, everybody wants to say my family.
So you're saying that in those days there was a communal mindset?
A communal mindset. All parents were parents, and all children were children to all parents. Now, these days, you see families saying, you don't touch my child, I know how to discipline my child, you leave this child for me to discipline and all that. So that's why we're getting children that are going haywire. Some of them are even going gaga. You know, some of the hairstyle that a 10-year, 11-year-old will put on, you begin to wonder, is this one coming from a home? You see some young girls out there, 11, 10, some of the things they will wear, like, does this one even have fathers and mothers at home? So the issue now is we are drinking too much from this cup of Western wine. I think we should come back home. We should come back to this African tradition. We are Africans. And in Africa, there is discipline intrinsically buried in our totemic mindset. It is on our subconscious. That discipline should be resurrected. That parents should see themselves as not just parents, but as role models, as disciplinarians. Correct these children when need be. Don't reason with a child. It gets to a certain stage, you reason with him, not at this stage. It is some of those things that you imprint on him when he was still a child that will model him into a very good adult. A good child definitely will become a good adult.
Absolutely.
Now, when you lead them, you think they can think of themselves. What you fail to tell them, their friends out there will tell them. And that is what we should avoid. So that idea of Western culture, I think we should come back home. Beside that, sir, this idea of laziness on the part of parents. They think now that you already have a child. So if you can provide for this child, you are performing the work of a parent already. The provision we are talking about here is not just finance. Many of them thought it's just finance. He's attending a very good school, I can provide. If he wants to buy anything, I can give him more. No. Emotionally, psychologically, this child needs you. Morally, you should be there for him. Who are his friends? Do you even know his friends? What are his routine? How does this child carry out his daily activity? You should be your child's best friend. You should have a roundtable talk most times with him. You should be able to tell him, if you try that, I will flog a lot of you, and he will not try it. Don't let him see himself like an adult already. You hardly even see children these days bathing outside. And someone said it's civilization. I think they know too much.
Okay.
Their parents make them know too much.
So why they've gone past the phase of innocence.
You see that state of innocence? It has been killed. Every child now, the parents have been able to inculcate in them that they are no longer children, but they are now what? Adults. And there is no way a child can behave like an adult. He will be an adult in a wrong form. So let these children grow. Okay. Correct them. Discipline them. Be a disciplinarian. Right. You don't rub men with a child of 5.
Okay. Now, you've actually said a lot. Now, talking about the infiltration of Western culture, just recently I saw a video on Facebook of this American comedian, veteran comedian, Steve Harvey, he was actually interviewing a kid, a 5-6-year-old girl. So he was asking her why she liked her brother, why she loved her brother. And she was saying, well, she loves her brother because, her big brother, of course, because he's always there to protect her and to comfort her when, her parents whooped her. And then, of course, the crowd, reacted in laughter and all of that. Now, I went through the comments as usual, and I saw a lot of persons asking questions, and a lot of people, complaining that it was totally out of place for the parents to, whoop her or to discipline her. And, of course, it became a debate as usual. Now, that pretty much reminds me of something. The fact that this is also becoming a major issue in this part of the world, whether or not to discipline a child. Because some people see the use of corporal punishment as a sign of hatred for the child. That how can you, use corporal punishment for a child that you love? So they see it as, you doing too much. They believe you shouldn't use corporal punishment on your child, that there are other ways. Just like you said, some of them believe you can reason with your child. But how do you reason with a child whose mind is not even matured enough to, look at things from that perspective? I think what we have is actually a problem, because people want to mistake smartness, intellectual exposure to maturity. Yeah. And I think that's a problem. I would like you to speak in that regard.
You see, words get their meaning from their context.
Okay.
What they call maltreatment in a particular context, in another context might be called discipline.
Discipline.
So when that people say you are hitting that child too hard, you're beating this child and all that. But I think in the right context, when it comes to my child or any other child, or any other child around me, you should use that right word, discipline. We were once children, sir. They did not kill us.
Of course not.
We are what we are today because of how our parents had to straighten our life. At least our parents are not beasts. They know what they are doing. You don't expect a mother who gave birth to a child to kill that child with her own ends, except she's maniacally derailed and all that. Yeah. When children are being disciplined with love, you can discipline a child with love. There is no need you bringing in ideas of you are abusing the child rights and all that. He is a child, for God's sake. The reason why you are saying I am abusing his right because you want to protect that child. The reason why I even discipline that child is to protect the child also. Now, this is what the government are fighting against, is that you should not abuse, assault a child. Discipline will get to an extent, it becomes an assault.
So that's where we need to draw the line now. At what point does discipline become an assault?
When you begin to inflict serious pains,
bodily harm
on this child, it is not an assault.
Okay.
When you are not correcting the child with love, it becomes an assault. When you are doing it with hatred, it becomes an assault. When you forget the fact that this person is still a child, it becomes an assault. But when you are doing it in the circumstances of these things I'm saying, like he's a child, I want to correct him with love, he's my child, and all that, that is discipline. And we should not rule out discipline because some persons are misusing it. I know I am not in line with so many parents or guardians who have decided to inflate pains on children because you want them to listen. No, that is beyond discipline. Okay. That is now an assault. That is now an hatred. That is now a corporal punishment. And if I ask my child to kneel down there, for example, or get a cane and give my child 2 or 3 strokes of the cane for doing something wrong, next time he will not try it. But if you now give a punishment that is more than that child, to that child, then it becomes an assault.
An assault, okay.
You're asking a child, for example, you get pepper, rub on the child's body, or give the person some scars, marks, and all that. Rub pepper. No, that is wicked and that is evil. But you're asking the child to kneel down there, or get a cane, flog this child 5 times or more, as the case may be, and after all this, call the child, next time, don't try it. I am your father, I love you, and that's why I'm doing this. I hope you will not try it next time. Such a child will not try it. But you're not letting the child know the reason why you have flogged him or disciplined him and all that. It is hatred.
Hatred.
So we should draw the line between discipline and hatred. So I am not advocating for that idea of that battering, that corporal punishment. Yeah. I am saying we should not rule out the fact that these children are still children. And children have a mindset that is as clean as a tabula rasa. So we have to imprint something that they will take up into becoming a very good adult.
I guess that's why the Holy Book says that you should train up your child in the way he should go, that when he is old, he will not depart from it. All right, guys, it's still the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television. Just in case you're just joining us, we're talking about the decline in discipline, parental discipline. What has gone wrong? What exactly is the problem? Why is it that, kids are no longer as disciplined as before? Why is it that kids nowadays can just do whatever they want without, their parents or a parental figure, putting them in check? Now, Abu, just a moment ago, you were talking about the difference between correcting in love and correcting, in hatred, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's no longer uncommon to see children just walking past an adult without greeting. And that was actually one of the things that we were taught as, children. And that was exactly one of those values that we grew up with, which is why we cannot see someone who's older than us now
and not greet.
Don't you think that's also a function of this lack of discipline?
The dysfunctionality of the society, that's one of the factor, one of the things we got from the dysfunctionality in the society. Why did I say so? I just told you not quite long that all parents were parents to all children. An elder can call you back and say, so you don't know how to greet. Where are you from? You say, I'm sorry, sir. Good morning, sir. Or in my dialect, you greet according to your family lineage, and you must do that. That's how we grew up. But these days, many parents have restricted themselves from doing that. Before someone else will come somewhere and say, don't talk to my child, it's my child, I know how to train my child and all that. So that communal nature is no longer there. And you can see, that is just a microcosm of the larger one. You could see, apart from this idea of greeting, you could see children, they hardly even get up from the seat for an elder to sit, if that's you listen to
That's another dimension to it.
Now, you see some of them, they are very disrespectful. They have begun to euphemize what we call disrespect. You see some of them will say savage reply. What you might want to call obscenity,
I think that's one of the effects of
stupidity, social media. Yeah. You see some of them will say, there's a new one now, we listen, we don't judge.
That's not even good.
They are indirectly promoting children to go haywire.
Go wild.
They are promoting this idea of you can always do whatever you want to do. And they are promoting immorality.
And the question we should even be asking is, what do we call judge in this context? Judging is discipline. Discipline we're talking about here.
It is a discipline they want to eradicate.
When a child does something wrong, you're supposed to discipline that child.
So you say,
but to children of this generation,
you listen, you don't judge. I will judge, you say, you listen, you don't judge. Besides that, sir, you see, when these children were growing up, they were given this orientation that I am your father, I am your mother, I am the only person, I should be the only person that has the moral right to discipline you. And that's bad. Let these children know that all parents in this vicinity are your parents.
Even adults.
even adults.
Not
They
necessarily
have the right
parents.
to discipline you in my absence. When I was growing up, something happened. I went home to tell my father that a teacher has flogged me in school. He said, okay, the next morning we'll go. He followed me to school. And when we got there, he took the cane himself and flogged me again right in front of the teacher. These were adults in unity. Adults having a meeting over me that I don't even know about. Their primary aim then was, this child must not go wayward. Now that I am an adult, I used to think like, okay, could it be the reason why my dad have to flog me again? You know, that sends a message. The message was, you are safe in his hands and don't misbehave because I'm your father. I will flog you again. But these days, we've seen parents that will follow their children to school and start constituting nuisance. Some of them will not even ask. You'll be telling your child right from the home that your teacher will die today. You are giving that child an impression that he or she can disrespect
An elder and
get away with it. I'm your mother, I will always fight for you. You are creating a small problem that will blossom into a bigger one in society tomorrow. A child you couldn't discipline today will end up in prison. And they'll start crying. Discipline your child. Teach these children societal value. The values, one of the values that will hold tenaciously to in Africa is respect. They should be respectful. Leave this idea of we are in a civilized world, this is a computer age. And in America, you don't touch a child like that, they'll call the police on, trust Nigeria police.
Okay.
They'll be very quick to tell you, no, it's not like that. You must respect your parents and all that. So that is one of the factors.
Okay.
Though there are other factors. The other factors that we have this single motherhood and fatherhood.
Yeah.
Is also a contributing factor.
Broken homes.
A broken home. Now, if a child is coming from a broken home, that parental care, love will not be there. Of course, it's not easy for one person to train up a child.
Okay.
You need a father figure, you need a mother figure, and this person is not there. Definitely it will affect the child's psychology, and that will metamorphose into an adult that will be antisocial,
Okay.
or that will be maladjusted in society.
All right.
So that is another angle.
Okay, once again, it's the Guys Hangout Show, and tonight we're taking a look at the issue of the lack of parental discipline. What has gone wrong? What is the difference between the way it used to be and the way it is now? Now, Abu, in closing, I just wanted to give a word of advice to parents out there who are not living up to expectation in terms of disciplining their child. Those who think, letting their child get away with everything they do is a sign of love. What's your advice for them? In less than,
They
1
shouldn't
minute.
be just a father or a mother.
Okay.
They should be parents. And parenting is not an easy job.
Okay.
If you are capable of giving birth to a child, you should be able to parent, take good care of that child. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to discipline your child.
Don't be scared to discipline your child. I guess that's the parting word for tonight. I want to say a big thank you to you, Abu, for taking out
Thank you, my brother.
time to be with us on the show today. And of course, to every one of you out there who have created time to be with us. I hope you've taken something away from tonight's discourse. Of course, the most important thing to take away from this is parenting is serious business. All right? So the moment you decide to become a parent, just have it in mind that the future of that child lies in your hands. If that child is going to grow up to become a responsible person, it's totally up to you. And of course, it's up to the adults that child is surrounded by. So another thing that Abu said in the course of his analysis is that parenting doesn't just end with you as a parent. You should also give the adults around your child the responsibility of raising your child, just like it was in the olden days. Don't have this mindset that you are the only one who has the responsibility of taking care of that child. My name is Harry Aigboje, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, do ensure you do the right thing and stay out of trouble. Do have yourself a lovely night rest.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
Once again, I want to thank you very specially for staying with us on the program Icons on ITV. I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. My guest today on the program is UK-based, and of course, has been helping young people fulfill their potentials away from violence and some of the vagaries of life that usually inhibit the progress and development of young people. Isosa Hekoma, Big Sosa Hekoma is with us in the studio. Thank you for joining us. Now, you said a while ago that you are in school now, studying criminology and sociology. How has that experience been for you?
Obviously, at first, I'd definitely say it was very, very difficult because not being in education and then going back to education, it's easy for you to feel like, you know what's the point? But it's like, for me, one thing that's kept me going is that I'm not just doing it for myself, I'm doing it for all the young people looking at me, looking to me, looking at me as a role model and everything else. And especially being a public speaker and also being a voice for these young people, is like everything I do in my life is to basically make sure, I'll say to make sure that they know anything is possible. So it's like I have that burden too, on top of everything else I'm doing when it comes to the educational aspect. But balancing work and also university, very, very difficult. Even in being in Nigeria, like literally yesterday, I spent at least 2-3 hours having to do my assignment and everything else, making sure that it always get done. So it's very hard balancing it. But like I said, the education and the degree is not just for me. It's also a sign to all young people that we can do it.
You have 2 daughters now.
Yeah.
Beautiful daughters. So what's the level? How would you describe the influence of being, because now you are a father, you are a student, and you're also a worker. How are you able to put all of this together, especially the family life, taking care of your kids?
I would definitely say, for me, it's a balance. It's like literally, I work hard. I always make sure I work hard, because at the end of the day, if you want to achieve something in life, you gotta work hard, 100%. So always make sure I work hard. Always make sure that obviously I have time to spend with my family and be able to invest in my kids, because at the end of the day, they're the biggest investment I can make in this world. And then the university fits in when it fits in. Like literally taking at least a couple hours to read or research or take time. But also because of what I study and because of the job that I do, they work together. So if now, let's say I'm doing a research on like, let's say forced criminality. Let's say I'm doing a research on someone who was involved in like creating actually, you know what, the best one to use is Andrew Tate. So obviously there's a influencer called Andrew Tate, and obviously because I'm studying sociology, I had to write about it. I had to write about what is the negative stereotypes when it comes to masculinity and everything else. And obviously I focused it on Andrew Tate. And for me, it's like I'm able to use that same information into my public speaking. Because whatever I find on, let's say, the research I've wrote, I'm able to then implement that into my profession. So it's quite good because they come in hand, the lived and also learned experience. And I believe at the end of the day, because I have lived experience of a subject, it's good, but learned experience has put me on a different type of standard, different type of category. And that's the place I plan on being. is being involved in rooms that I'm able to make serious impact.
Okay. You've been away for about 20 years. You left at the age of 7. You left Nigeria for the UK at the age of 7.
Yeah.
And now you're back after 20 years. Share with us what the feeling is like, and why was it impossible for you to connect home this period? I mean, I haven't gone through all that you went through, but at some point there was some level of stability. Is your dad still alive? Do you have somebody back home, maybe a mother, grandmother? I mean,
no, I would say that obviously, like my mum obviously tried to travel when I was 2. So, and that's when she disappeared.
Okay.
When I was 2, my father died at the age of when I was 15. So for me, it was like connections with my family. I didn't have any. So I didn't really know my family growing up like that. Maybe at some point I might speak to my grandma and everything else, but I didn't really know my family, and I didn't keep consistent. And also over there, I was trying to survive. Not getting killed every single day. So it was
that was less of your concern.
Like, at that moment of time, it's like to think, oh yeah, you know what, I might need to fly to Niger quickly, or am I able to fly to Nigeria? I was thinking, right, I need to survive today, survive tomorrow, survive next week. And then, but also, I'll say later on as an adult, what also prevented me from coming earlier, before my grandma passed away, was that I didn't have my status in the country. Okay. So for me, if I was to leave the UK, I would not be able to go back to my kids. Okay. So it was like, I couldn't take that risk. I had to make sure that was sorted out first. And that was sorted out, thankfully, thanks to the UN, the start of this year. And after it was sorted at the start of this year, when I went to go speak at the United Nations, it was a fact where it was no-brainer I was gonna come at the end of this year to go see my family. But also, I thought to myself, I'm not just going to take this opportunity just to go reconnect to a family. I'm also going to take this opportunity to find out more about myself, who I am. Because growing up, I've always felt like I had a hole in my chest because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I come from. I didn't know my tradition and everything else. Especially trying to fit in the UK, easy for you to lose your culture and everything else. And I lost a lot of that because I wasn't surrounded by my people. I wasn't surrounded by my family members. I was surrounded a lot by UK culture and the UK custom. So I got used to that. And now, coming home and being connected with my own culture and where I'm from is one of the most important things. And this whole week, I'll say that 1, trying foods, 2, trying, pure water and all of these type of things and all of that. Like, these are the whole things I'm trying, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, like, okay, it's okay. I can do with this. But first it was very much like, oh no. Even coming there, like, and having my cousins and that, they laugh at me because I'm constantly putting mosquito creams on and that. Because I'm scared. I'm like, yo, like, is this a mosquito bite? Tell me right now. Like, I'm taking the tablets. Like, my cousins, they laugh at me because they think to myself, nah, you be UK boy. Literally. But it's like, I find it very much welcoming. Like being back home, getting in touch with my roots, understanding where my people, what my people have gone through, who they are. Like this whole week, I just remember sitting down and speaking to my team and just saying to my team, like, Nigerians, young kids, they work hard.
Extremely hard.
They work hard. Imagine if they were given the opportunities that they deserve. If they were given these...
They'll fly. They'll fly.
Nigerians will be problems, I swear. I swear. If they were given some serious opportunities, I swear, these kids will be a hazard to the world. And I'm not talking about it negatively, I'm talking positively. Like, they would make sure that this economy grows differently.
Okay. Let's talk about who when you look around from where you're coming from, where you are today, you certainly know where you're going. So who are those people that have inspired you, like role models? When you look up to them, you see their lifestyle, you see their life journey, you see their story that's really inspired you.
I would say for me, it sounds kind of crazy, but I would say Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all of these people where for me, they were able to make change. Like, they were able to start a revolving door. And that's how I look at it. I look at it as something where it's like we're able to start a revolving door, able to, it's like if I don't end up making the changes that I want to make, at least I've opened the door for other people to make them changes.
Okay.
I'll say those are mainly my role models. But apart from that, I'm also learning obviously a bit more about Fela Kuti, his mum, the activism that they obviously how he used music as activism, how his mum was very standing up for women's rights and everything else. So I'm also learning about my own people, my own activists and my own culture, where I'm so prideful, I'm so proud of, like literally, and I'm happy that I'm able to make them changes in the UK, but also now pushes me to think, okay, I can make them changes there. What can I do at home?
Interesting. I mean, when I first saw you today, I concluded that probably you're a rap artist, or maybe you're doing hip hop, or you're doing any of this stuff, the way you look. So this genre of music, which of them, really interests you the most?
Which what would you say?
Music.
That question?
Yes,
music.
Yeah.
What type of music?
Yeah.
Me, I'm a Benin boy, man. I like Charlie Poppy. I'm a Benin boy.
All right. I know you left pretty young at age 7. So then you could speak Pidgin.
Yeah.
Can you speak Pidgin now? Your sister speak Pidgin.
I'll say the most I probably know is how far now, how you did. even my grandma and my grandma and my aunties and that, they tried to teach me obviously to Yoruba, like Akaro, Ekaso, all of these type of things and that. So for me it's like I'm learning.
Okay.
I'm learning.
So apart from how far now,
how you did, how your side.
Okay, it's improving. It's getting better.
What you call it? I'm learning. Okay, I know a few things. I can understand. That's the main thing. Yeah. I can understand.
Okay, now back home, you've been interacting with people, right? So, what projects do you have, like a platform to engage young people, dissuade their mind from violent activity? I mean, if you've been following some of the happenings back home, there's been a lot of issues around cultism, gangsterism, and all of those stuff. So do you have maybe like a project or a platform to have that sort of engagement to dissuade their minds from stuff?
So for me right now, is basically, I feel like to make change, you got to understand the field and the economy you're dealing with. And that's where I believe this trip was very important for me. Because coming here at first was very much focused on trying to understand why people take that risk to travel illegally out of the country. And then obviously understanding that opportunities and everything else was one of the main things.
Okay.
It's a thing where, like, obviously I have a charity in the UK. So it's a thing where for me, I'm trying to then obviously see what opportunities I'm able to create over here for young people too. And I'll say it's creating work, creating, like, literally wanted to create like resorts and all of these type of things and opening more opportunities for young people in this country. But like I said, you've got to understand it to be able to think of a solution.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like this trip has been for me, is understanding. I'm here for like a month. I'm here for a whole month. I'm not here for no 2 weeks or 1 week and then think, I'm going to leave. I'm here for the whole month. I'm here till January. And the reason I'm here till January is because I really want to understand everything. And I don't think even after that month I'm going to understand everything. I'm even sitting there with my team planning to come back next year.
Okay.
Like, I'm planning to come back a lot more so I can start implementing and be involved in making these changes back home.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, yes, I'm able to make changes in the UK. And I'm very happy I'm able to make changes in the UK. But I'm Nigerian. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
This is where my people are. Like, if I'm not able to help and make changes with my own people, then really and truly, who am I? Like, that's one thing that's important for me. That's one thing I take pride in. Like, literally, I'm able to make changes in the UK and I'm happy the influence and everything else, being involved in the government, being involved in the policy changing, being involved in researches, being involved in documentaries, and being the face of forced criminality in the UK, I'm happy about that. But then now I've moved over to then being a face of criminality when it comes to, into the United Nations.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that too. But I'm also Nigerian. I'm gonna have to come home. My kids are gonna have to come here.
Definitely.
Like literally. So if I'm not able to make these changes over here and also help my people, lad, I don't really feel like I've done enough. So for me, it's the vision is more than the UK now, more than the United Nations. It's also making sure I'm able to create something here. Like if it's a little something to start that change, then that's cool. But able to create that.
Okay, what's your advice for Nigerians in diaspora who had the opportunity to make impact, but a little bit reticent coming back home like you did? I spoke with someone today in Canada. He was saying, or he heard that back home there are insecurity challenges, people are being kidnapped. You didn't hear those stories?
Of course I did.
Would I be comfortable to say that, you know, maybe because of your past life journey, that really didn't bother you?
I wouldn't say it didn't bother me. I'd definitely say I'm coming into a new country, like this. I might have been born here. This is also new for me, though. Like, so 100%, security and safety is always the important thing for me. But I'm also very, I'll say, aware of my surroundings. I'm able to read rooms, and they're also able to be observant. So for me, although that these things do bother me and these things do worry me, but I also believe that if we had more opportunities over here and them opportunities were created over here, that it'll be less. So it's a thing where, like, I can't blame people for how they're living or what they're being forced to end up having to do. Okay. But what I can do is come from a non-judgmental perspective, come from an open-minded perspective to be able to understand what went wrong and how it can be fixed. So for me, yes, I'll say yes, I was scared. But two, I'm also aware of the fact that personally, I know how to read a room and I also know how to read threats. I've survived, I'll probably say 10, 11 years of people shooting at me, people trying to put holes in me. Like, so it's like for me, a month, I can do.
Interesting.
Like, literally, I can do the month.
All right, as we gradually conclude this interaction, how do you spend your time? You're not working, you're not schooling, what do you do for leisure?
I'll be real with you. There's a lot of people ask me this question of how do I, like, calm down. Yeah. There is no such thing as calming down if you want to achieve a goal or achieve a vision. Okay. Like, I'll say 24/7, we're constantly working. And that's just not, I believe if I can run a drug phone 24/7, I can run a business 24/7. And that's one advice I'll give every single young person. If you can run a criminal organization or be part of a criminal organization, then 100% you are a made entrepreneur, 1,000%. And that's one thing I encourage all young people that I work with in the UK. If you can run a phone, you can run the business. That's exactly what I end up doing. I use the exact same formula and the exact same, I'll say, structure of running a drug empire to create a business. That's exactly what I've done. And I believe anyone can do that.
I just like that parting shot. If you can run a drug empire, you can run a business. It's basically, you know, giving it the energy, that same energy that you had, and then of course you realize your potentials and fulfill your dreams. Big Sosa, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I'm sure there are lots of things to learn from the conversation so far with our guests here. Please don't fail to leave a comment on any of our social media platforms where you'll be watching this video. We'd like to know what you think about this interaction. If you learned something, please share with us. We'll be glad to know. Thank you so much for coming on the program Icons on ITV. I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's it on this week's edition of the program Icons. I hope you had a great time with us. Be sure to join us next week, same time on this channel. I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. Do have a beautiful week ahead. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Always.
say